Hello everyone. In episode 1, Waleid loved Nani silently, but while he was looking at her, Karki was quietly looking at him. He never noticed her. Now, let's begin episode 2, the girl who became a memory. When school became a memory, school life slowly came to an end. The classrooms that once felt permanent became memories. The desks were still there, the windows were still there. The old school walls were still standing, but the students began to leave. Friends who had spent years together started walking on different paths. Some were excited about their future. Some already knew what they wanted to become. And some were simply waiting to see where life would take them. Waleid was one of them. He did not know where his life was going. Nani went her own way. The girl Waleid had once loved silently was no longer part of his everyday life. And Karki, she disappeared too. The girl from the next classroom, the girl who had once looked at him from a distance. The girl he had never truly noticed. Without a goodbye, without a final conversation, she quietly disappeared from Waleid's world. At that time, Waleid did not think much about it. He believed life was simply moving forward. But sometimes, we do not understand the importance of a person when they are standing beside us. We understand it only after they are gone. A new life. Waleid went to college. Everything was different. A new place, new classrooms, new faces, new people. He thought this was the beginning of a new life. Perhaps he could forget the past. Perhaps he could become someone different. Days passed. College life slowly became normal. But after a few days, something strange began to happen inside him. A face from his past returned to his mind. At first, it was only a small memory. Then it came again and again. Waleid did not understand why, because the person he remembered was not Nani. It was Karki. Yes, Karki. The girl from the next classroom. The girl who used to look at him. The girl he had never tried to understand. Suddenly, after all this time, Waleid remembered her. The girl he never noticed. Waleid began to remember small moments from school. The way Karki looked at him. The moments when their eyes met. The times she was somewhere near him. Back then, those moments meant nothing to him. His heart had been filled with thoughts of Nani. There was no space for anyone else. But now, Nani was gone. Karki was gone. And strangely, it was Karki's face that kept returning to his mind. Waleid began to wonder. Why am I thinking about her now? He had no answer. Sometimes, a memory does not knock before entering our hearts. It simply arrives, and once it enters, it refuses to leave. The girl Waleid had ignored when she was near was slowly becoming important when she was far away. Searching for Karki. Waleid wanted to know where Karki was. He started searching for her. He tried to find out what had happened to her. Where was she now? Was she studying somewhere? Had she moved to another place? Did she still remember him? Waleid searched, but he could not find her. Every search ended with silence, and with every passing day, the memory of Karki grew stronger. It was strange. When she was near him, he had never searched for her eyes. Now that she was gone, he was searching everywhere for her. Life can be cruel in quiet ways. Sometimes, it gives us a person, and we fail to see them. Then it takes them away and teaches us their value through their absence. Questions without answers. Waleid started asking himself questions. Why am I thinking about her now? Why didn't I talk to her when she looked at me? Did she really like me? What would have happened if I had noticed her? What if I had spoken to her just once? But there were no answers, only questions and memories. Waleid could remember her face, but he could not ask her what she had felt. He could remember her eyes, but he could not go back to the moment when those eyes had looked at him. Time had already taken that moment away. Perhaps Karki had never loved him. Perhaps she had. Waleid did not know. And sometimes, not knowing is more painful than knowing the truth. Because the heart can create 1,000 stories from one unanswered question. Everyone was moving forward, slowly. Waleid began to lose interest in many things around him. College life continued. Days became months, months became years. Life did not stop for Waleid. Everyone around him seemed to be moving forward. They had plans, they had dreams, they were building their futures, but Waleid felt different. He felt as if he was standing in the same place, while the whole world moved past him. He still did not know what he wanted from life. He still did not know what he was good at. The boy who had once been afraid of everything was now becoming a young man. But the fear inside him had not disappeared, and somewhere inside his heart, there was still a girl he could not find. Karki had become more than a person from his past. She had become a question, a memory, a possibility that Waleid could never fully understand. A life left unfinished. Time passed, and eventually, Waleid's college life came to an end. But there was another painful truth. Waleid did not complete his degree. Once again, something in his life was left unfinished. School was over. College was over. But his degree remained incomplete. Nani was gone. He still did not know where Karki was. And Waleid had no idea what he was going to do next. He stood at the edge of his future, with nothing but questions. He had no clear career, no degree, no direction, and no Karki. The boy who once did not know what he wanted to become had grown older, but he still had no answer. Yet life was not finished with Waleid, not yet. Because sometimes, when every road seems to end, fate quietly begins to build a new one, and somewhere beyond Waleid's loneliness, another chapter was waiting. Another person, another feeling, another turning point. Her name was Miyu, but Waleid did not know it yet. His story was about to change. If this story touched your heart, and you want to know what happens next in Waleid's life, support this episode with a like. If you enjoy this series, episode 3 will continue Waleid's journey, because sometimes the end of one road is only the beginning of another.